smelly, unclean, or old, then our mind will go there most of the time. We cannot meditate very well. In the case of Vipassana, we have to clean our environment. We have to also clean our body. This is called Vipassana Kriya. Then, Indiya Samatha Patipadanata, imparting evenness to the 5 spiritual controlling faculties. So here in this case, we must balance the controlling faculties. So we have 5 controlling faculties: the faith, saddha, efforts, viriya, mindfulness, sati, concentration, samadhi, and wisdom, panya. So these 5 are called controlling faculties. They are also called spiritual power. If one of the faculties is very predominant or very powerful, the other cannot perform their respective functions. So if I give another example, in your cooking, you may put a lot of salt into your soup or curry. It's spoiling the taste also. Sometimes you don't put any salt, then it also can spoil the taste. Similarly, you may put a lot of oil, add a lot of oil into the soup or curry, it can spoil. No oil also not that much tasty. Now you also use many different vegetables in one soup. Then not many other ingredients. Okay, one more thing. When you cook something, you must have proper amount of ingredients in the soup or in the curry. Similarly, when we are meditating, we must have proper quality, proper power of these 5 controlling faculties. If one of them becomes very excessive, very powerful, then all other things cannot work properly. Then we cannot have better improvements, or we don't have better concentration. Okay, sorry. We should talk about the faith here. Saddha. We have 4 different kinds of faith, 4 different kinds of saddha. Religious faith, agamana saddha. It's a comprehensive faith in the teaching of the Buddha, possessed by Bodhisattva and noble disciples. So, for example, Bodhisattva, he had very strong faith that he could practice very well. He believed his ability. He believed his aim and goal. That is why he could practice very well. Sometimes, although we have very strong faith in our ability, but our target, our aim, our ambitions, our goal is unclear, we cannot practice well. So faith is also important. Saddha is also important. For example, in the case of Bodhisattva, he believed Buddhahood. He believed enlightenment factors. He believed his ability to fulfill all kinds of parami. That's why he could do everything very well. The acquired faith, Adhikama Saddha, it is acquired by realizations of path and fruition, Megapala. So when we can realize path and fruition knowledge, our saddha becomes firm and stable. It's unchangeable saddha. Then we have the next one, determining faith, Akapana saddha. It is an severed or absolute convention by which one relies and depends on the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So that means it's very strong and determining faith. Then we also believe Buddha's quality, Dhamma's quality, Sangha's quality. It's also unshakable, ajala faith in the quality of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, with attitudes described as is so, even it down. So the main thing is this kind of faith is unshakable. We can also say unchangeable. But one more thing, sometimes we believe many wrong things, also unchangeable, unshakable. In this kind of case, we cannot say it is a really faith, right? We just grasp something. Like something we also believe in a wrong view, wrong idea. Also very strong faith in it. In this kind of case, we cannot say Saddha. In the case of Saddha, it must be something beneficial for our practice. It must be something practical for our life. For example, 3 trainings. So mostly when we talk about Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, in every religion, they also encourage their follower to believe in their God. But in Buddhism, not only believing in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, actually we also have many other things. For example, sila, morality. We must believe in the morality of the benefit of morality. I think some of you may have attended Singapore retreats, right? I have already talked about morality. If we are moral, we can save more money. I have already said that one, right? For example, now you may undertake exercise. You don't have jhana. I don't know how much does it cost for you for jhana in USA. I think it will cost, right? A lot. So now you don't eat jhana, you can save more money. This is the example. So there are many other cases, right? The main thing is we must believe in the benefits of morality. Actually, it's beneficial for ourselves. It's also beneficial for all other people in our community. For example, if we don't kill any living beings, they can survive. Another thing is that they will not have fear of death. Almost all the living beings have fear of death. Then when they have fear of death, sure, they dare not approach anybody, any other living beings. So if we don't kill any living beings, they can also sense our metta. Then they will not scared of human being, like in Paauk, many white chicken. They don't scare bhikkhus anymore because we don't kill. Right? Mostly white chicken, when seeing people, they were flying away very far. Okay, the main thing is we must believe in morality and the benefit of morality. Similarly, we must believe in concentration and the benefit of concentration. We must believe in wisdom trainings, especially Vipassana. Now, also we must believe in the benefit of Vipassana. So when we have unshakable faith of all these things, we can say determined faith. Just believe in this, believe in that is not determined faith. It will be another part. Inspired faith, pasada saddha, is non-committal liking and respect for the teaching of the Buddha. Okay, now it is also insufficiently strong not to alternate with skepticism and liking, respect for also teaching of other teachers. It cannot support full commitments to the 3-4 trainings, although it can support great offering and even ordinations. This is just a sample. Actually, we have many inspired faith in modern society. We believe something very deeply, but it's not that much beneficial for our improvement. Sometimes we are doing the same things every day, every year, but we cannot improve. We still believe it will helpful. It will be helpful. It will make us improve. Okay, the main thing is, inspired faith can be anywhere in any religion. So their mind is shaking all the time, not like the previous one. Shaking means if one teacher say, you don't need to observe precepts, morality is not important, then he also believes that kind of teacher. Or you don't need to do consideration, it's not important, also believe that kind of teacher. You don't need to know Nama Rupas that much in detail, He may also follow that kind of teacher. So the mind is easy to change here and there. They may believe in many different things. Very easy to believe. This is called inspired faith, prasada saddha. So it will be useful for sometimes, because it also can be wrong belief in any conditions. So although we say saddha, this we call mere saddha, not powerful saddha. So this kind of saddha cannot support our practice that much. When we are determining faith, it will be very strong supporting cause of meditation. Okay, here one more thing. Even among the Buddhists, we have many other prasada saddha. Even the first day, I think, right? One lady asked me about arhats with bank cards or ATM cards. So there are many types of belief like that. For example, I also have read many stories about arhats in different countries, like in Myanmar or in China or any other countries. And they declare that they are arhats. But when I read, I cannot believe. For example, one of the case, one Mahatera, he declared that he was an arhat. But he also said, when he attained arhatship, many Buddha come and embrace him. He has that kind of statements in his books. I was surprised. Buddha has already entered Nibbana. They cannot come back anymore. But he said, many Buddha come and embrace him. So many people also believe that kind of the declaration, right? This is called prasada saddha. Even they don't know is it true or untruth. They don't consider anymore, just believe it. This is called prasada saddha. Very easy to believe. In Myanmar or in other countries, there are many Buddha relics. They say the Buddha relics, this Buddha relics, this is the original Buddha relics. And they also say like that. Many truth relics, many relics of the Buddha. Some of them will be truth, some of them will be untruth. And sometimes, when they say Buddha relics, very big, I know the size of Buddha relics according to the text. Then I cannot believe that kind of things. Anyway, the main thing is they may believe in many different things like fake relics, fake arhats, without any consideration, without any thinking, just believe easily. This is called inspired faith, prasada saddha. So they may have very strong faith, but not that much useful for their practice. Okay, now, in the case of predominant faith, it mentioned the story of Venerable Vakali. In the case of efforts, the story of Sona. I actually elaborate a little bit more. You may have known Venerable Vakali. He had very strong faith in the Buddha, very strong belief. Whenever the Buddha visited, he follows. He just sit in front of the Buddha, just see Buddha appearance. He was happy with this. You may know very well-known statements of the Buddha. Vakali, who see the Dhamma, see me. This words. This Buddha addressed this statement to Venerable Vakali. So, although he was sitting and looking at the Buddha, gazing at the Buddha, he cannot see the Buddha if he cannot see the Dhamma. Buddha means like in this way. So he has very strong faith. He cannot improve. Just follow the Buddha like this. Then finally, Buddha had to force him to practice that he could attain arhatship. So in the case of Venerable Sona, his body is very soft. Even his palms, his body hair in the palms, in the leg also, in the feet, also there's body hairs. So he just grew up in the luxurious place, in the luxurious family. After ordination, he meditates very diligently. Then when he do walking meditation, then his foot was swelling in the very beginning. Later, the past blister. There are also a lot of blood. Whenever he do walking, a lot of blood smear on the walking path. Finally, he cannot walk. He just knee down and he just walk by on the knees. We can also imagine how diligent he was, but he couldn't obtain anything. Finally, the Buddha encouraged him to balance the efforts and the concentration. He could improve. Okay, now, if wisdom is strong and faith is weak, he can be a wicked man, like a disease caused by medicine is uncure. So you may have already known this kind of statement, right? Some diseases are caused by medicine. It's not that easy to cure. Again, if the faith is so powerful, the meditator should develop efforts and other enlightenment factors instead of developing faith. Okay, here we have two different angles, wisdom and faith. We must balance these two. Sometimes we have very much analysis. We can analyze everything very well. Sometimes we don't have confidence. Then it will be the problem. We may be a wicked person. We don't believe anything easily. Although it's trustworthy, we don't believe. Sometimes we have very strong saddha, very strong faith, but we don't have wisdom. We may believe many things easily. This is also one of the side effects. For example, in everywhere, in many Buddhist countries, we also have similar problem. They have very strong faith, but lack of wisdom. They offer many different unnecessary things. Oh, okay, one more thing I remember. Maybe previous February, one of the meditators from Cambodia came to Paauk. He also offered a kuti. A kuti means a monastery, small kuti, small living place for the meditators. Then, after offering, then the next day he came to see me and he asked some special question. In our monastery in Paauk, we also allow many different donors, but sometimes they may offer only a piece of garlic to every bhikkhu. We have 500 bhikkhus, so he may need 500 pieces of garlic. Sometimes they offer only a piece of onion to every bhikkhu. So that means always a piece of onion, it will be 500 onions, right? Similarly, garbage. Only a piece of garbage. A leaf, for example, right? Just take out a leaf, offer every single bhikkhu, garbage. We also allow any of you donors like this. Then he asked me, Bhante, how can we do this kind of dana? Now, how you allow this kind of donation in Paauk? Actually, we just think about the benefits, right? For example, small garlic. If some people like, or they can take garlic also. It's enough for him. A piece of onion also enough for him for one meal, right? Similarly, garbage or watercress, a thread of watercress. It can be any kind of donation in a small amount. As long as it's beneficial or useful for the receiver, we can offer. The main thing is when we offer, it must be beneficial or useful for receiver. This is the main point. So sometimes, although they offer a lot, not that much useful, wisdom, also wisdom money, wisdom donation. That's why we don't recommend unnecessary donation. So mostly when we have very strong faith, but lack of wisdom, we may offer many unnecessary things, unimportant things, right? Useless things also there. So when we have saddha and panya, if we can balance these two, we may offer only necessary things to the receiver who needs it. So in this case, we must balance these two, saddha and panya. Okay, if the faith is so powerful, the meditator should not develop effort. Should develop effort in other enlightenment factors instead of developing faith. So that means sometimes we have very strong faith. At that time, we should not develop our faith. We should develop other factors. Now we are talking about Dhammavicaya, right? We also develop Dhammavicaya Sambhojjhanga in order to balance faith with Panya. Then, if we sense weak, the meditator will not investigate how to improve and will have unclear vision. So that means sometimes our sense is weak, we don't know what's our weakness. Sometimes even very subtle things can hinder our improvement. We must be very careful. Okay, so that is why when we are going to practice, we must investigate properly. For example, what I need to do now. You have a lot of thoughts. Okay, when we have a lot of thoughts, we have to check because of strong efforts or because of weak efforts. If we have very strong efforts, we may have thoughts knowingly. If we have very weak efforts, we may have thoughts unknowingly. So not only that, actually, if we don't have enough wisdom, then we may not have clear vision. Then we will be inactive, unmindful, untranquil, unconcentrated. Also, we will not be equanimous toward other objects. There are many objects arising together. We just go to many different objects. We don't have equanimity towards other objects, which means the 7 element factors will not be balanced. Then again, there are many stories to explain, such as the story of Saccaka, Arita bhikkhus, and the story of men who did not show respect to the Buddha, thinking that mental respect is more important than bodily and verbal respect. This is just explanation. Right? That's why, actually, okay, I should say only one story because we have time's up already, right? For example, Saccaka Parivajaka. He came and debated with the Buddha about anatta, non-self. He was defeated by the Buddha. But he was very arrogant and stubborn. Even he didn't accept his failure. Not only that, after that kind of conversations, in many other suttas, they may ask for refuse from the Buddha. Right? Then they, whenever Blessed One, please accept me as your disciples, your students. They may have that kind of declaration, that kind of request from the Buddha. But in the case of Saccaka, although he was defeated, he also liked the perceptions of anatta, non-self. But he didn't take refuge. He didn't take refuge to triple gems because of arrogance. So then he has very strong wisdom, at the same time very strong mana, pride, or arrogance, that he cannot improve his life. Whole life is the same. Right? Even he cannot meditate. So that's why if somebody has very strong wisdom, then lack of faith, then they cannot improve. Okay, for about Arita, it will be too long, right? And I cannot explain today. So the main thing is, today I can talk about only the faith, right? There are many other factors. Maybe tomorrow I have to continue. Okay, so now briefly, when we say balancing, controlling faculties, we have 2 different pairs. One is Saddha and Panya, faith and wisdom. If we can balance these 2, we can improve. Another pairs, concentration and efforts. If we can balance these 2, we can also improve. Even yesterday, I have said, the mindfulness is a key player in any conditions. Always need it. So we must be aware of our conditions. Why I cannot improve? Faith is strong, wisdom is weak. We must know. We must be aware of it. Similarly, sometimes concentration and efforts. Which one is stronger? we must be aware of it. If we are aware of it, we can improve. So as I said yesterday, sati is necessary everywhere in any conditions. So now, for the case of Dhammavicaya also, I haven't finished Dhammavicaya, right? So now, so far, I have already finished some parts. That means we must ask proper question in the proper conditions for our improvements. This is also important for Dhammavicaya. Another part, we must clean our body, our environment. This is also important. The third one, we must balance controlling faculties. If we can balance, we can also develop the enlightenment factor of the investigation. Okay, so may you all be able to practice the 3 trainings, and as a result of it, may you all be able to achieve the higher attainments, path and fruition knowledge, and cessation of suffering. Okay. Okay, then we can start Q&A session. Some question on the chat. Okay.
Thank you, Bhante. I have a question after just learning so far. It seems that one needs a lot of self-awareness to know that which part you're missing or how you're imbalanced in order to progress.
Sure.
Without the self-awareness, you can't even improve.
Sure.
So what do you recommend for lay people in our daily life? How should we self-examine? How should we approach this and keep examining? Are we in an imbalanced situation? Should I learn more at this stage, or should I practice meditation more at this stage? How should I evaluate that in life?
Okay. So if you can improve your meditations, you don't need to analyze too much. If you cannot improve, you must know, you must check, you must investigate what are the hindrances. What kind of things hinder your improvement, right? So if we can know the real reasons of hindrance, then we can also overcome it. We can also overcome our difficulties. Okay. So when we talk about wisdom, so there are many different ways of approach. I will approach one sutta, for example. Right? In this sutta I mentioned, when we talk about panya sambhada, the achievement of wisdom, that means we must know the hindrances. For example, if we have very strong lobha or greed or attachment or craving for something, we may do something improper. It becomes hindrances for our improvement. So similarly, in the case of meditation, sometimes we have a lot of greed, a lot of expectation, then it will cause our improvements slower. But we must remember what is real hindrances in our practice. Sometimes we are in a hurry, right? Then that's why our improvement becomes slower. We must also know what's the really problem of this. So, okay, if I summarize, as long as you can improve normally, you don't need to think about what's the hindrances or what's the problem. But when you have some difficulties, if you cannot improve anymore, then you must check what's hindrances. mostly we call in Bali nikanti, especially when you have too much comfort. For example, you may have very strong rapture, bliss, tranquility, pleasure, pleasant feeling in your body. Then your mind will incline to it. You may have attachment to it. You cannot improve. Right? We call nikanti, attachment to good experiences. This is also one of the side effects of meditation. Another thing is a lot of complaining. For example, you cannot focus very well. You are complaining too much to yourself. This is also called dosa. You cannot improve. Right? So that means when you have a lot of difficulty, check lova or dosa. Mostly these two are main points. Another thing is like a mana, arrogance. You cannot give up something. You are grasping something, you cannot give up. Right? So in this case also, you cannot improve anymore. So you have to check what are really hindering your improvements. If you can know real reasons of the difficulty or improvements, you can solve this problem. Okay? So briefly, you must know many types of defilements and the way they are working. If we have learned all the things, then later you will be able to check properly. Okay? You also need learning knowledge. You also need experiences. Any other thing?
Thank you, Sarah.
Yes.
I just have one question about the practice. If I have allergies and I wear the mask, will the mask disturb my concentration? Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, so if you wear the mask, can you keep knowing breathing? If you can keep knowing breathing, it doesn't matter. We cannot say it's a disturbance. Okay, then the next one.
Dạ con kính đảnh lễ ngài. Dạ con kính chào sư phụ. Dạ hôm qua ngài có giảng về dễ vui á sư phụ. Thì con muốn biết là nếu một người hành giả trong khó thiền thì như thế nào gọi là dễ vui. Dạ con cảm ơn sư phụ.
Vietnamese said, so she asking that, so in the retreats, just said mentioned diligent. So is and also said also mentioned. So she want to ask what is the indiligent, I mean not diligent. What does that mean? Can Sarah explain?
Okay, we can say diligent. Okay, if we say diligent, there are many parts, right? For example, you may have consistent efforts. This also can be considered as diligent. Another thing is that we have a mental efforts or bodily efforts. We can say kayika viriya, that means mental energy or mental efforts. Sorry, body energy or body efforts. Chitasika viriya or manasika viriya, that means mental effort or mental energy. So that means as long as you are using your efforts, mental energy or body energy properly, that means you have right efforts. Sometimes you use too much mind power, that means you have excessive efforts. In this case, you will get tired very easily. You cannot improve easily also. At the same time, you may also use very strong body energy. If you use too much bodily energy also, you may get very tired. You may feel tense in your body, something discomfort in your body. So that's why you must have natural efforts. We can say right efforts, right? This is called, another thing, you must also have consistent efforts. This is called diligence. Okay?
Dạ con cảm ơn ngài. Dạ con có thêm một câu hỏi nữa. Khi mà mình niệm hơi thở thì mình chỉ chú ý tới hơi thở thôi. Vậy khi mà cái tâm bất thiện mà nó khởi lên đó, thì mình có quán cái tâm bất thiện để mình biết cái tâm bất thiện đó là như thế nào để mà mình diệt nó đó. Dạ, khi mà mình ngồi thì con muốn hiểu là tâm bất thiện nó mình lên đó mình có quán nó không, hay là mình mọi lúc mọi nơi mình chỉ chú ý đến hơi thở thôi, còn tâm bất thiện nó khởi lên thì mình không có cần biết và quán chiếu nó. Dạ con cảm ơn sư phụ.
Vietnamese said all. So she asking that when doing anapana, so she needs just focus on the anapana, or sometimes the akusala mind appear. Does she need to investigate the akusala mind in order to remove the akusala mind, or just focus on the breath only?
Okay, so it depends on what kind of akusala mind, right? For example, short-term akusala mind, don't think about it. Just focus on the breath simply and naturally. Don't follow anything, right? Sometimes you may have many unwholesome thoughts a whole day, for example. When you have this kind of case, you have to change other objects for a while. For example, particular body parts, also reverse meditations, right? Visualizing cause or anything, right? Also, if you have a lot of anger, a lot of hatred, a lot of aversion, a lot of ill will, you can also do metta, karuna, mudita, or any other meditation subject for a while, then come back to the breathing, right? So it depends on what kind of defiance you have, what kind of akusala you have. There can be different solution. Okay?
Dạ, con cảm ơn Ngài.
And any other question? I think some question in the chat box. Okay, there's some question in the chat box. Some question in the chat box. No more question?
Hỏi ạ. Dạ, sư phụ dịch giùm con là Đức Phật dạy là vô thường, khổ, vô ngã. Dạ thì con hiểu vô thường, con hiểu khổ. Mà đến khi mà vô ngã thì con lại ít có tin đó. Dạ cho nên con nhờ sư phụ hỏi Ngài để chỉ cho thêm con để con có niềm tin vô là có vô ngã đó. Dạ cảm ơn sư phụ.
Vietnamese said also she has listened about anicca, dukkha, anatta. She has understand and believe anicca and dukkha and anicca, but however she cannot understand the anatta and also not so believe in anatta. So can Sarah give a brief explanation so that she can believe in anatta?
Actually, in the case of anatta, okay, that means, okay, we should say very simple thing now, right? This body is not under our control, right? You wish to be healthy. You try many different ways to be healthy, but there are many sickness in this body. Okay, so that means the body, or all the mentalities are not under our control. This is called anatta. This is one of the case, right? Okay, another one. Now your mind, not under your control. That's why when you're trying to know the breathing, it will run away here and there. And this is very clear, right? The anatta, just for easier understanding. In the real meaning of anatta in Vipassana, it will be a little bit deeper. For example, I should say very easy example now for Vipassana. This body is made of small particles. It also rapidly rises in vibration. Now also, in every single particles, there are many different materials. They also rise in vibration. They are also not under our control. If we analyze, we don't have any everlasting entity in this particles. Then we can also understand as anatta. Okay, we don't have everlasting entity. That's why we can say this is also anatta. We can also say another way. This is not, does not belong to us. It's just happening naturally. This is the one thing. The Sami, right? Karaka. Who is doing? Who is making this body? We cannot say clearly because small particles, they have many different reasons, many different causes. No creator, no doer of this kind of particles. Okay? They are arising naturally, caused by some conditions. We cannot say which one is it, except cause. Maybe, for example, in the case of Kamacha Rupa, sure, they are produced by karma. In the case of mind produced materiality, it's produced by minds. Temperature produced materiality is produced by temperature. Nutriment produced materiality will be produced by nutriment. So there are many different reasons, many different causes. There are also many other supporting causes or arising. Okay, that is why there are causes arising and variation not under our control. That's why we can say it's anatta. Okay, so it will be very deep meaning because we have many other explanations. Not that easy for beginner to explain all the things. Okay, next one.
Thank you. Can I ask one more question? Dạ, cho con hỏi một câu hỏi nữa là hồi nãy Ngài nói về kinh tứ niệm xứ á, thì con có thắc mắc là mình cái đạo Phật mình thì nói là mình có 84.000 pháp uẩn và trong kinh tứ niệm xứ thì nói là đây là con đường duy nhất, cho nên con không có hiểu là vậy thì mấy cái 48 ngoài cái tứ niệm xứ ra còn mấy cái pháp uẩn kia thì họ có mấy cái pháp uẩn kia nó có dẫn được đến con đường giải thoát không, hay là chỉ có tứ niệm xứ mới dẫn đến giải thoát? Dạ con cảm ơn sư phụ.
What I said also heard that in the text also say there are 84,000 dhammas, and so but in the Saddhanussati-Patana Sutta I mentioned that they are the only way to leading to the realization of Nibbana. So is that a controversy? So is that 84,000 way or just only one way to Nibbana? Yes.
Okay, it depends on how you understand Ekayano, right? Okay, let me check. I have some note about Ekayano. It will be easier for you, right? Because actually there are some misunderstanding about Ekayano. Okay, Ekayano house we have Eka Ayana and many other things. Okay, let me show you. I will share the slide, right? Or I will share the screen. Actually, many people misunderstand Ekayana. I also understand why they have this kind of perceptions. Okay, I found. I will share the screen, right? Okay, wait for a while. Now you can see, right? Ekayana, the only way. Okay. Ekena ayitabo, the first definition, right? Ekena ayitabo. Okay, I should write down. I should type number also now here. Okay. Ekena ayitabo. You can go there alone without any defilements or companion. Craving is also called companion according to Buddha teaching. So that means you can go alone. You cannot bring anybody to Nibbana, right? So you cannot bring defilements to the Nibbana. That's why we can say Ekayano. This is one thing. Okay, we have number 2. Ayitabo, right? Patipatitabo, ayantiwa, itinati, ayano. By this path, okay, you can go from round or reverse to Nibbana. That's what we call Ekayana. This is one thing. Another meaning. Okay, now 3. Ekasa ayano. This is the path used by the foremost one, the Buddha. Right? That's what we call Ekayano. Another one, the last one. Ekasame ayano. So there's the path only in this Buddha teaching, only in Dhamma Vinaya you can find. This one is called Ekayana. Be careful, right? Ekayana is not as you think. It's not that simple. Many people translate as the only way. That's why you misunderstand. Okay? This is the meaning of Ekayana. Eka-ayana, right? The only way. So that means this way, this is the only path we can find in Buddha teaching. We cannot find in any other teaching. Okay? We can understand like that. Okay?
Can I ask one more question? Dạ, cho con hỏi thêm câu hỏi nữa là hình như câu hỏi này hơi sớm nhưng mà con muốn biết là khi mà mình niệm thở là mình trong một cái quán thân, vậy là tới chỗ nào là mình là đi tới quán tâm và quán pháp? Dạ, con cảm ơn sư phụ.
Vanami said also, she know that the do anapanasati, it means the kayanupasana. So at which state is the dhammanupasana or chittanupasana or vedananupasana?
Actually, it will be very messy to explain now. Okay. For example, Vedananupasana, right? Although we say Vedananupasana, Vedana alone cannot arise. It will arise together with other mentalities. So we also have to know as a group. Now we also have to know their arising and perishing as a process. Similarly, Chittanupasana. Chitta, consciousness or mind alone cannot arise. It will arise together with mental factors. So we have to know as a group or as a process. We must understand as anicca dukkha anatta there. In the case of Dhamma, actually we have a different angle of Dhamma. For example, when you go and read Master Vipassana Sutta, we have 5 reading methods. Khanda Papa. We also have Ayana Papa. We also have Satya Papa, right? Many different chapters. So according to all these chapters, we have to follow, we have to practice. You can say Dhammanupassana, right? So it depends on what chapter you are practicing. I have already said, Vajrayana Papa, Nirvana Papa, these 2 chapters are not for beginners. Okay?
Cho con hỏi là nếu mà mình niệm thở, mình niệm hơi thở, rồi mình có thấy được cái tâm của mình không? Dạ.
Vanami said also, she asked another question that if doing anapana, so does she able to see her mind, see the chitta?
Actually, we don't recommend to see the mind or to see other things, right? When you are practicing anapanasati, it should be very simple. Just keep knowing, breathing. Don't follow any other phenomena or any other characteristics or any other appearance, shape, color, or any experiences, pleasant or unpleasant. Just keep knowing, breathing simply. It will be easier for you to improve.
Yeah, thank you so much. Cảm ơn sư phụ.
Any more questions? Settle, can we read the question from the chat group?
Okay.
Okay. First question, Wandami Seattle. Please, Seattle, advise, is it true if somebody in his life, his body part, example, hair part, become relic, is he an arahant? And when the people die and after cremation, there are relics, is it can be believed he is an arahant too? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So fortunately, I was born in Buddhist country, right? Actually, this very common questions everywhere. Because in Myanmar, we know many different the folk relics. Okay, for example, somebody passed away, especially some people pass away, for example, right? Then their devotees wish to make their teacher as the arahat. They put some chemical into their body. Then when they burn the body, it become relics. Okay, this is one of the things. Okay, very easier one is we have gas lighter. I think you may have this kind of gas lighter in US also, right? In the gas lighter, above the gas, there's a small stones like iron, right? If we put many stones into the body and burn, it will change the relics. And this is what we know in Myanmar. Okay. So that's why sometimes if we say arhat or relics, we also have to consider is it human-made relics or real relics? Because now many people are cheating, right? So for about hair, actually this also some problem of this hair relics, right? For example, like a hair chain like a ball or something, right? They also say if the chain look like this is an arhat or something, but this also not really 100% correct. Maybe there are some tricks to do this kind of things. Okay, so in our modern society, if somebody declare or some of their disciples declare that their teachers are arhat, then it's not for good reputation. Especially in Paauk, we don't recommend to do this kind of things, right? If somebody passes away, we don't recommend his arhat or Sotapanna or anything. We don't encourage anybody to announce, right? Okay, the main thing is, although people say somebody is arhat, we must consider how is his lifestyle. Okay, as previous question, right? The first day question. Arhat, but with bank accounts, how can we believe, right? Similarly, arhat with ATM cards, we cannot believe, right? So even he's not an anagami, this kind of things also can happen. That's why when we hear somebody is arhat, we have to check his lifestyle, how he survived, how he lived in ordinary life. Okay, this one.
Thank you, Sayadaw. Next question, Wandami Sayadaw, how do we go about to determine what is beneficial and suitable dana? Can Sayadaw share some examples of beneficial and non-beneficial dana? And further to this question, will the donors receive same merits? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, good question, right? So that means now many of meditators are here as donors, right? So actually this question is very useful for all the people. Okay, I will give one example. For example, there is a one bhikkhu, he cannot read Pali, but you offer Tipitaka for this kind of bhikkhu. It's unbeneficial, right? He cannot read Tipitaka, just wasting your money. Okay, we have another example. You may bring Tipitaka to Paauk, and you may offer in the library or somewhere. Right? There are many people we can read Tipitaka. In this kind of case, we can say useful dana. Okay, now another example. Then you may offer very big amount of foods for one bhikkhu. Okay, for example, you may put instant noodle, very big fruits like papaya, also mango, maybe pineapple, banana, right? A branch of banana, for example, you offer to one bhikkhu. After accepting, he must eat it before midday, before the noon. So after that, he must relinquish to his kapiya or samina or anybody. If kapiya are smart, or if his assistants are smart, sure, they will keep for tomorrow. It's okay, no really big problem. But it must be now bhikkhu's arrangement. Right? Bhikkhu cannot arrange. We keep it for tomorrow. Bhikkhu cannot say like that. But devotee, kapiya may arrange properly. For example, right? Okay. In this case, when you are going to offer a very big amount of foods to one bhikkhu, you must also check his assistance, his kapiya, is it smart or not? If he's a smart, sure, if he will arrange properly, your material are not wasting. Otherwise, it's wasting. Okay? So the main thing is, it depends on the community you live. You must check it will be useful for receiver or not. This is the one thing. And sometimes, for example, many people offer me many different medicines, but I cannot take also. Right? Sometimes when I see the doctor, for example, when I was in Singapore, I go and see the doctor, I show my medicine, I also ask his recommendation, and he also recommend to do, for example, I dare take. Right? But sometimes I'm not expert in medicine, so I have to discover somebody who is expert in medicine. Right? Anyway, okay, for example, if you are a pharmacy or a medical doctor, then you can recommend, you can prescribe medicine to somebody. Then it will be useful for him, right? Sometimes 2-3 doctors recommend 2-3 different medicines. It was fine, right? So that means although we know something, we must consider for the benefit of receiver. If somebody is caring the bhikkhu, for example, right? Then you should consider you should do or not. Okay, the main point is, I will give another example, right? Also, one lady from Vietnam, I told this story in Vietnam also, right? One lady, she showed me her small finger. She cuts small finger already, right? She shot then she also told me, I offer my small finger to the Buddha. She said this kind of thing to me. I just asked very simple question. What the Buddha will do with this small finger? Right? The Buddha cannot eat. Also not that much useful. Why she cut and offer to the Buddha? Right? So that kind of thing is called unbeneficial. Not that much useful for receiver. So, okay. Another thing, the second question, right? If we offer unbeneficial things, unbeneficial dharana to the receiver, also mention the same merits, right? He also asked this kind of question. Okay. We have two different things, dharana and dharana parami. So when we are going to do dharana parami, we must think about the benefit of the welfare of receiver. If something useful for a receiver, we can say we are doing dharana parami. We just offer what we need, what we wish to offer. In this case, we don't say dharana parami. Okay? So in this case, if you offer unbeneficial things to receiver, it can be dharana, but not dharana parami. If you offer only beneficial material for receiver, it's a dharana parami. It's also called dharana. Two different quality. Okay? The next one.
Okay, the next question is a Vietnamese question. Could Pandit Para help to translate?
Yes. Vietnamese said, con hỏi sư làm sao có thể phát triển? How to increase the mindfulness day by day after the retreat? So I go back home and how to increase my sati day by day. Also, able to support my meditation, anapana meditation, getting better.
Okay. So when you are in your daily life, not that easy to improve, but actually anyway, you can maintain your concentration. For example, twice a day, you may meditate. When you can maintain this kind of habits, the next time when you join meditation retreat, you can improve faster. This is also one of the way, right? But in daily life, you may have many other things. You have to be busy with this and that and many other activities. Then we cannot expect to improve easily. But anyway, you can maintain. Is it good enough? Next one.
In the five indriya, five faculty, controlling faculty, the sati faculty of mindfulness, the stronger it is, better it is. Is it true?
We cannot say the stronger the better, right? So that means it's always needed. We cannot say strong or weak, right? So mindfulness is always necessary. That's why we cannot say strong or weak. Of course, when it's very weak, it's very clear, right? We cannot say the stronger the better. We cannot say like that. That means more consistent awareness. The more you have consistent awareness, the better for you. We can say like that. Okay, next one.
Just now, Sayadaw mentions that a question, if someone asks question, must ask question related to the practice. Should not ask questions related only to theory. So how to understand this? Can Sayadaw give some example?
Actually, okay. For example, I have many meditation experience, many retreats. Okay, one case happened in USA also, in Orange County. I have been to one Vietnamese temple. I also conduct retreats there, right? But in the very beginning, they asked many questions. You know, some of the questions are very deep. Of course, I can answer because I have learned Dhamma, right? But many of people complain. We don't understand why you keep asking this kind of questions, right? So then you also have to think about all the listeners' conditions, right? It must be beneficial for all the listeners. That is why I don't recommend to ask many Abhidhamma questions. For example, right? Mental process. It's not practical for all the meditators here. You may think about like death and life, new life, all kind of theory, right? It just for knowledge, not practical for all the meditators here, right? So that is why, how you say Dhammavicaya Sambhajjhanga in the very beginning. When you are practicing Anapanasati, okay, ask about meditation. It's more beneficial for all listeners, right? That is why theory, sometimes some theory are very confusable. It will make people confused. That's why I don't recommend to ask this kind of question. Okay? And this one?
Sayadaw, now 7 minutes past 8:30.
Okay, now.
Vandami Sayadaw, did the Bodhisattva ever burn his head to offer to the Buddha?
Bodhisattva?
Bodhisattva, had he ever burned his own head to offer to the Buddha?
No, we don't have this kind of things. It's useless, right? You know, he may not do useless thing like that. You guys want?
Okay, there's another question. Question 7. Sayadaw, is donating meditator mind and body to the teacher or Buddha a suitable practice? If suitable, please explain the reason.
Okay, so that kind of thing is actually suitable. For example, okay, I was just give one example, offering to the Buddha, right? Sometimes you have a little scare mind or some fear in your mind. You just offer your body to the Buddha. Right? This is not your body anymore. You may feel a little bit safe. That's why this kind of practice is actually suitable. In the Visuddhimagga also it explained, right? Is it recommendable to offer? Okay. Another one.
Okay, one last question, Sayadaw. This is in Vietnamese.
Vietnamese Sayadaw. So when meditations, you can feel that they are very small, the feelings are small particle. So you can feel the heat and cold and the numbness also. But however, she cannot see the 8 Anivibhoga Rupa because it's so fast. Or does the feeling appear and disappear very fast? So she cannot see the 8 Anivibhoga Rupas.
Okay, so now when you are practicing Anapanasati, don't think about elements or any other characteristics too much. If you think about it, you will get lost also, right? So when you are practicing 4 elements and Rupa meditations, then you can do that one later. At the time, although you're gonna descend in the first kalapas, you may be able to descend the second kalapas, something like that, right? So actually, there are many different ways of approach to material discernment. Okay, this one.
Okay, so there's no more question.
Okay. And share the merit, right? Idawadaja amehi